Hi, my name is Taylor Santori,
And my name is Gunjan Patel.
and this is our BioBlitz presentation.
So the Dejadima, or also known as the hillside Sheffield pink, is a flowering plant. It acquires energy through photosynthesis, and reproduces sexually and asexually. They emerge usually in warmer weathers during warmer months. This can be used for health benefits all over the world, especially to treat chest pain, high blood pressure, and even headaches. An interesting fact is that these flowers come in a variety of colors, specifically not blue, just every other color but blue.
So, our next organism is the Erythrolagdus cuniculus, which is known as the opal fur rabbit, and it is a vertebrate. An adaptation for survival for these rabbits are their long ears, which are primarily used for detecting predators. And in varying habitats, rabbits can group in up to 20 individuals, but they generally are not social unless they are breeding. And sometimes, if they're territorial, they may box each other. And a fun fact is that rabbit milk is one of the richest mammal milk, and this is primarily due to the fact that their mothers are not very nurturing and they're very inattentive. So basically, when they do feed their rabbits, they get all the nutrients they need, regardless if they've only been nutri getting nutrients for a few minutes. And in many cultures, rabbits are an important source of protein, and they're often grown so that people can use their meat and their skins.
Our next organism is the Noctua pranuba, which is a large yellow underwing. This is our invertebrate. So it is highly migratory and very abundant in the northern hemisphere. It has a survival trait, which is their bland to bright pattern. So you might wonder, what is this bland to bright pattern? Basically, when the moth is sitting, it's going to have these brown wings, which will camouflage into many things. However, when this moth starts flying, it will have a completely different color. This confuses the predators into thinking other things. So, this will give this moth many different types of survival traits. And this large and heavy moth has a wingspan of around 2 to 2.5 inches. And large yellow underwings as larvae are considered garden pests.
The next organism is the Optuntia angelmeni, which is known as a prickly pear, and they are often found in gravelly and sandy soil. And an adaptation that they use for survival is their barbed hairs, which are sharp, and this will hurt potential predators, which makes predators avoid them ultimately. And because of this survival trait, pack rats will often build dens at the base of this plant to protect themselves from predators, because no predator wants to go and hurt themselves because of these plants. And for humans, these are often used as a source of food, especially in Mexican culture.
Our next organism is the Ganoderma sessile, which is our fungus. So this is found on the lower trunks of urban trees, and they kill and decay woody roots and the base of infected trees. So these fungi are decomposers. So when they decompose, they give off nutrients to the soil, which really help flowers and many different types of plant grow better with this nutrition. And the adaptation for survival is that it produces brown basidospores, which germinate on substances. And traditionally, it's been used like all around the world, especially in China as medicine, um, for many different types of health benefits and diseases because it has properties of antioxidants. It's also known as very good saprophyte. Saprophyte is a decomposer that's basically living on dead matter, as they have the ability to survive on many different types of wood as well.
So, when we were identifying these organisms, it was relatively tricky, especially because we were given this assignment during a week of rainy weather. And although they were difficult to identify, the organisms itself were relatively easy to identify, especially the Ganoderma sessile, since it is a uniquely shaped organism. And scientists trying to complete an environmental catalog in a new environment should establish goals about the information they want to collect, as well as gather information about the environment they are in so that they can prepare themselves and know what to expect from the new environment. And using multiple identifying apps are more helpful rather than relying on one for identifying species, because then you'll be able to be solid on the identification of your organism.
So for our question and hypothesis, we chose the organism Dendrothema hillside field flower. So the question is, do pollinators affect the growth of flowers? Hypothesis is Dendrothema plants produce more flowers and seeds when exposed to natural pollinators than when there's less to no pollinators.
So we found an article with a similar hypothesis as to our hypothesis, and it is the effect of pollination on the growth of Brassica napus. And the graph that we see represents the effects of pollination treatment on vegetative growth and flowering. And as we can see in the graph, the plants with limited pollen appear to have more growth than the plants with wind pollen and insect pollen.
So the experiment I chose to perform to prove the hypothesis is first off, get 6 of the same Dendrothema plants and make sure all of these plants are in the same exact conditions. For example, the same lighting and same temperature, because this is significantly important to remain controlled for the experiment. And then place these 3 plants in a garden with 100 bees. The 100 bees will represent our pollinators for this experiment, and then place the remaining 3 plants in a different garden that are isolated from all these pollinators or the bees, and then let the plants grow for exactly 30 days. After that, record the amount of flowers in each plant and the height of each plant of these measurements. Then make a conclusion whether the plants with pollinators had more growth or plants without pollinators had more plant growth. Finally, write an analysis.
And these are our references for all of our sources.
These are in APA format. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.